So traveling to far-flung, exotic locations is exciting, thrilling, and also mesmerizing. But on the flip side, imagine you being on the verge of getting kidnapped in an unknown South American city. So here, I was in the beautiful city of Quito, the capital of Ecuador, and you can see the majestic Cotopaxi mountain in the background. It stands towering at 5,800 meters, and on any given day, there are a lot of hikers going up the mountain. A few kilometers from there is Mitta del Mundo, where the equator bisects the earth into two halves. So I had a memorable time in this beautiful city. And one night, I was walking in the centro, which is the historic center of the city of Quito. And then from the corner of my eye, I could watch a bunch of thugs following every move of mine. Everywhere I turned, they followed me. And then I was looking for a way out because it looked like a potential hostage situation. And then my heart was racing fast, adrenaline gushing through my head as I was frantically looking for a solution to escape what would be a bad ordeal. As I was going through it, my entire travel life flashed in front of my eyes. So, but then adventure for a seasoned traveler isn't new. Just a few months before then, I was in the youngest nation of the world, that is South Sudan. I was interacting with some of the tallest people belonging to the Dinka tribe. So I spent about 2 days there, and I was supposed to spend the rest of my vacation in a far-off village, a tribal village, to experience the culture of South Sudan. And then an acquaintance called me and said that the uneasy truce that made up the government in South Sudan was about to break, leading to an imminent civil war. So I had two options: go to the airport and fly away from South Sudan, or sit through a very bad civil war. So I went to the airport, grabbed a seat I could get on any plane, and then I was out of South Sudan. In both the instances, be it Ecuador or South Sudan, I was really quick on my feet and had to make quick decisions. Otherwise, I would have ended up in a very, very bad situation. But then, how did this all happen? How did I become a seasoned traveler? Why do I travel umpteen times across the world? It had to start somewhere. So, a little flashback. So, I was in my sixth grade when my mother gifted me with a large atlas. For those of you who are not aware of what an atlas is, it's a collection of maps from every part of the world. So, as a precautious child, as a very curious child, I was somehow addicted to this atlas. I was vicariously traveling through every country in the world through that little atlas. That atlas was too big to even fit into my school bag. So I had to always carry the atlas alongside my school bag, prompting my schoolmates and classmates to mock me as a budding Fahien or a budding Marco Polo. But I did not let this negative vibe shroud my travel interest, but instead I think that day the travel seed was sown, and then I think I was infested with a travel bug. So this interest was further fueled when my parents took me on my maiden foreign country trip to Bhutan. So the wriggly caterpillar of a travel idea in my mind has morphed into a fluttering butterfly. So fast forward many decades, I was recently in the country of Venezuela, once again in South America. So I was dropped off on a helicopter on a tepui. For those of you who do not know what a tepui is a flat mountain which is referred to geographically as a plateau. So what was so special about this tepui? The tepui was the mountain where the 979-meter Angel Waterfalls, which happens to be the highest waterfall, was dropping off. So right there, I was having accomplished traveling to every country in the world, proudly holding the tricolor. So proudly holding the tricolor on the top of Angel Falls. It was really a moment, overwhelming, joyous moment, and also a humbling moment because of various stories I garnered from across the world from my travel experiences. Also, I was standing there with utmost conviction that anybody that has a dream and works hard can achieve or bring anything to fruition. Just to give you a perspective, so I was happy and overjoyed because I completed my gargantuan task or goal of traveling to every country in the world. And then I was only one of the 288 people across the world of 850 crores, and to be one amongst the 288 to have completed every country in the world was a great feat. Also, I want to put a perspective to this 288 number. About 676 people have gone into space. 6,700 people have scaled Mount Everest. But then to be one of those 288 that have gotten a chance to travel to every country, it was a surreal moment. I couldn't put the moment in words, but that was the best travel moment so far. So while I've garnered enormous experiences from every corner of the globe, I want to share with you a few of these interesting moments. I was an avid fan of wildlife, so I was quite lucky to have experienced or interact with flora and fauna from many parts of the world. So I was fortunate enough to have walked with cheetahs in Zambia, to walk with a pride of lions in Zimbabwe. I was somehow fascinated with the movie King Kong. I always wanted to stand in front of a mountain gorilla, a real silverback mountain gorilla, and there I was. So there are only 1,000 mountain gorillas living in the wild, most of them in the Virunga National Forest of Rwanda, and then the Bivindi National Forest of Uganda, and then the Kahuzi Bihega National Park in DRC. I was again fortunate to have interacted with gorillas in all 3 national parks. So here I show you a picture of me standing right there in the natural habitat of a gorilla family, and you can see the silverback intently watching my every move so that I would not harm its family members. That was truly an exhilarating travel moment that I wanted to share with you. Landscapes fascinate each one of us. We always wonder about trenches, mountains, mountain peaks, valleys, and so forth. I was somehow fascinated with volcanoes. So when I was in school, for my science project, I modeled a 3D volcano. But then, again, fast forward, right there, I had a chance, I wanted to stand at the rim of a crater of a real volcano. There are a lot of active volcanoes and dormant volcanoes in the world. So I had to find the most active volcano. So I chose this little country, island nation of Vanuatu in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So I flew to the capital, which is Port Vila. And once I got there, I had to travel to a different island called the Tana Island. All flights were booked. So luckily, I was able to get a seat on a chartered Cessna plane. So I flew into the island of Tana, and then 2 hours of back-breaking trip on a pickup van. There I was at Mount Yasur. So it was, the sun was descending. It was a beautiful dusk, all kinds of hues of the evening. And then we got the permission to climb the mountain, and there I was standing at the rim of the volcano. The lava sputtering every few minutes with a thud sound. Just imagine a Diwali flower pot, right? Magnify it 10,000 times. And there I was watching the sputtering lava. Every time it sputters, the earth under me shudders. And there is a thick flume of black ash, and everyone there was covered with it. So to be on the crater, on the rim of this active volcano, seeing all this happen was another child dream come true, and it was another exhilarating moment. When I travel across the world, the best part of travel is getting a chance, having a chance to interact with the local people. So once again, I was fortunate to be probably one of very, very, very few people from this side of the LOC, line of control, to have crossed into the other side of LOC. There I was in Gilgit-Baltistan. So I know it's virtually impossible to get permission to travel there. I was really fortunate once again. So I spent 9 days in Gilgit-Baltistan. Once again, beautiful landscape, just like Kashmir on the other side of LOC. So absolutely had a phenomenal time. But the best experience was, it broke my myth. It broke my stereotype. It broke my misconception that people from the other side of LOC would be envious of us. Maybe there would be some kind of animosity. Maybe they would try to hurt me. That was all broken when there was a beeline of people. When there was a beeline of people standing there to pose for pictures with me because they've never seen any individual from this side of LOC. So that was a wow moment. Probably I got 2 suitcases full of clothes and shoes, which I couldn't carry. Unfortunately, I wanted to carry them, but I had to redistribute in Gilgit-Baltistan. So while there are so many cultural experiences, so many perspectives, I would say this tops my agenda because each one of us has an idea of what life is like on the other side of the border or other side of LOC. I saw nothing but enormous love on the other side of the border. I was there in the northernmost inhabited place on the planet Earth. There is no human civilization north of this particular place. So I was in Svalbard, just a few hundred miles from the North Pole. And there I was in front of the seed vault where seeds and plants from everywhere in the world are stored. Why are they stored? We all are concerned about global warming. If there were to be global warming, the glaciers would melt and probably many nations would vanish. I give you an example of Tuvalu or Kiribati or even our Maldives, which would be drowning under ocean. So what would happen then? Let's say the doomsday theory. Let's say the earth is submerged underwater. Most of the life is gone. How do we make the earth green again? That's why you have the seed vault. And this is perched up on a mountain. Whatever level that the scientists expect the oceans to rise, this would still be safe. So this gives me a glimmer of hope that the earth will be green again, irrespective of whether there's a doomsday catastrophe or not. So that's why I want to share this story with you, staying so close to the North Pole. Then comes the next question. Everywhere I go, people often ask me if I have a money tree growing in my backyard. So I want to assure you, I really do not have a money tree. So I was a student of political science in Central University of Hyderabad before I pursued my master's in the USA. So one quote really caught my imagination. There was a political scientist named David Easton. He talks about authoritatively allocating scarce resources of time and money. I'm sure most people, the money is finite, time is finite. So how do you authoritatively allocate this money and time? To bring your ideas and dreams to fruition is what the challenge was. So I always worked as a consultant. I got paid only when I was working. I took a part of that money to pursue my passion of traveling the world. So I'm assuring you once again, there is no money tree, there's no funding. It's all hard-earned money that I spent to pursue my passion. The other quote that always caught my imagination is from Jean-Jacques Rousseau, where he talks about a man is born free, but everywhere he's in chains. The chains, what are these chains? Job is a chain, money is a chain, family is a chain, good health is a chain. I was born free, and I wanted to be free forever. So what was prime on my agenda is to unshackle these little chains, and I've successfully managed so. I had a full-time career. I'm married with a daughter, and I do make some money because I want quality of life as well. But in spite of that, I have successfully traveled to every country on the face of this planet. So here I want to bring to notice my wife, Swati, and my daughter, Anushka. Without their support, this couldn't have been possible. So a majority part of this credit goes to them because they supported me in my passion. They let me do whatever I wanted. Next one is, what have I learned through my travels? It's always the right time and the right moment. I could have a nice plate of sushi in Japan. I could make 100 videos, take 10 visuals, and explain to you for umpteen number of hours. But then you would never get the taste of sushi, only I can relish it. So what I've learned in my travels is, do not really worry about the past, and do not maybe worry about the future. Be there at the moment. Enjoy the travel moment, because once you have experienced it, only you have experienced it, and there is no second chance. So here I want to bring a very poignant memory or saying of Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan is a very famous American astronomer. He talks about that pale blue dot against the streak of light. So every civilization that has flourished, every king that has lived, every war that has been fought, everything that happened in history, everything that's going to happen in the future is happening on that little blue dot. So just imagine how infinitesimally small we all are. So is it worth the egos? Is it worth the misgivings? Is it worth the animosity? So every time I make this, I find this thought to be very profound, thinking of the pale blue dot, so I could be a better person for myself. All right, we talk about the global family. There are a few pictures, one from Afghanistan, one from the Kalash people. There are only 2,000 Rigvedic Hindus living in the northwest of Pakistan. I was able to manage to get there. And then posing with a bunch of pygmies in Burundi, and finally in the Horn of Africa with a bunch of kids in Eritrea. So what I've realized, everybody across the globe is looking for food, shelter, and pursuit of happiness, irrespective of the color, caste, creed, height, religion. We are absolutely looking for the same thing. And remember, the global family is one, and we are all looking for the exact same thing. So I was very fortunate to be born as a human being and to experience what other human beings experience. So I have to mention my parents, who have really nurtured every dream of mine, even it was outside their echelons, outside their capacity. They pursued hard, they made me work hard, and here I am. I'm very happy that my mom and dad were able to share or were able to see my successful moment. I lost my dad very recently. I'm sure I have his blessings every day, every time, and so forth. And then what? So traveling to 195 is not a display of wealth or not a display of something that I gained recently, but it's nothing but pure passion. If you have the passion, if you really have the desire, you have a dream and you work towards it, anything can be achieved. Just imagine me coming from a very moderate background, being able to accomplish what I thought was unthinkable. Just imagine yourself. Logistically, you are much better off than I was 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So I would urge each one of you to take that action, to take that first step, to take that first plunge, however turgid the waters are. And then the world is waiting to hear your story. Thank you.